What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys have been watching my YouTube shorts, you would know that I'm giving a lot of my film critiques on it. Just a quick video, quick minute video, giving my thoughts on different things. And if I sound like I'm under the weather, guys, I am. So forgive me if this video is a little monotone. I'm not my usual excited self. But I did want to bring you this video because I finally got around to watching Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and I wanted to give you my thoughts on the overall film. Now, when the film first came out, there was a lot of negative backlash. The box office numbers weren't what everybody was predicting and or expecting it to be. We thought it was going to kind of follow suit with the first Shazam being close to $1 billion at box office. I think the first one did 750 to 800 million. And the numbers didn't come close this time. And why is that, you may be asking? Well, I heard a lot of things about the film itself. It was boring, or it was cliche-ish, or it was the same thing that the first one was, this, that, and another. I'm not going to say all of those critiques that we were hearing before is completely true. I will objectively say, and I will sit here and look at you guys and tell you that I actually did enjoy the film. It did have issues, and we're going to talk about those issues. It had a lot of issues, but I did like a lot of the messages that the film was giving throughout the movie, from different characters, even from the villains. And sometimes, to make a great villain, you have to be able to root for the villain. I will say these villains are very forgettable because they've done nothing to really impact the DCEU. If it was to continue moving forward, they didn't do anything to really impact that version of the DCEU. Being that James Gunn and Peter Safran's coming in and revamping the whole division, I feel like Shazam! Fury of the Gods doesn't even matter at this point. Just like any of the other DCU films that are coming out, except for Blue Beetle and Flash. We're hearing that those two take a prominent role, or there's a place with those films in the new DCU. Those two are the only things that will have some sort of cohesion with it going into what those two gentlemen have planned for the overarching DCEU. But Shazam! Fury of the Gods, I enjoyed it. There were some parts that were extremely boring and slow, and it didn't make any sense to the overall story. But there was a lot of messages in the film that I did like. And it made me even sit and think and wonder, we all didn't really grow up with a good childhood. Some of us grew up with better ones than others. Some of us grew up with worse ones than others. So these films hit a certain spot to me, being that I didn't grow up with the best of childhoods. You know what I mean? I feel. And it's all a matter of opinion. As children, we think that sometimes situations are a lot worse than what they are. But as we get older, we kind of realize that, maybe the situation wasn't as bad as we were making it out to be. And that's why I really like this film, because Billy Batson he finally came around to realize the family that he's with isn't the worst outcome that he could be in, and I did like that character development of that character from what we saw in the first one. Kind of a loner, standoffish, always wanted to run away, always wanted to, not let people in. And then in this film, he's finally coming around to being the glue that's trying to hold everybody together, instead of being his own entity apart from everybody. I really like that. Now, my issue with this film, and it was my issue with the last one, and this is a lot of people's issue, is that Zachary Levi plays a completely different character than I forgot the young man's name that plays Billy Batson, but I will refer to him as Billy Batson simply because I don't remember his actual name. But Zachary Levi plays a completely different character. Anytime he transforms into Shazam, right, which is supposed to be a demigod of sorts, powers, knowledge, wisdom, speed, strength, different abilities of different gods. He seems like an adolescent child anytime he transforms into this extra dimensional god, right? And Billy Batson's character seems that much more mature than Zachary Levi's interpretation of who Shazam is. Now, with this film being it was supposed to be a little more serious, because the first film was grounded, a lot more grounded, but this one you had like a world-ending event, could potentially be a world-ending event if it got far enough. He's still cracking jokes, and I don't feel like he was taking it as serious as he should have been as Shazam. You know what I mean? There was people were dying or losing their lives. He was cracking jokes. I threw a truck at a dragon. Oh, my life was so cool. You saw it in the trailer. It just didn't. The two characters don't make any sense because they don't feel like the same character. That was my one major gripe with this film and the last one, is that these two characters don't feel the same at all. There is no They could be two separate characters. You could turn it on at certain different points in the movie and think these are two separate characters until you realize, no, this little boy turns into this god. You know what I mean? And another issue that I had with this film is it didn't give us enough of what brought them closer as a family. Now we can tell that they've been saving the world together and all of this. They will go out, save the world, team building exercises, they play video games and stuff. We saw glimpses of that in this movie. But from the last movie to this movie, it feels like there's a giant hole that's missing that I think was really important, because that would have made us, the audience, gravitate towards these characters a lot more than it did. And I don't feel like, they lost their powers. I don't feel like it was earned to begin with. You know what I mean? From the first one, I didn't feel like everybody getting their powers was earned. Billy getting his powers was kind of, I guess you could say comic book accurate or animated movie accurate, because the Shazam and Superman versus Black Adam, that's the same thing that happened. Billy was on a train. The wizard called to him. Train transported to a cave. Yada, yada, yada. He gets his powers, Shazam. But the animated did it a lot better, in my opinion. This one, I just don't feel like, or the last one, into this one, I don't feel like any of it was earned. And then when they lose their powers, I don't feel bad about it, because it was just like, why should I feel bad when you're playing around with godlike powers here. You're not being logical. Mary, Pietro, I think were the two main ones that were the logical ones that with the powers. The little girl that loves Skittles, I can understand, because she's literally like the baby out of the group. So I can see her mentality from that transforming when she transforms into her version of that character. I can see that. But the rest of them, you're all a lot older. The stakes are a lot higher. You're taking this as too much of a joke. I do love the family. Any movie I see that's written good and performed well, I do love seeing the family aspect of it, because we all have families. Most of us have families, and we want to root for the family. But I don't think your whole family should be involved, especially humans facing gods, literal gods, descendants, children of some of the most powerful gods. Atlas is one of the most powerful Greek gods in that pantheon, okay? I don't think we had enough gods in this. On top of that, I think this would have been the best movie to set up what happened with the gods. We got a glimpse of it in Wonder Woman, the first one. Ares killed all the gods. Since then, we've had Ares, we've had Zeus, Ares, and Artemis make a cameo in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Then with the new gods, if you want to rope that into it, we've had Darkseid, we've had Steppenwolf, we've had Granny Goodness, we've had Desaad make a cameo in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And if you don't believe me, those are literal new gods. That is their title, the new versus the old, High Father, Hyperion, all of those Orion, all of those are new gods, right? But we're not talking about the new gods, we're talking about the old gods. And the old guys is the reason why Shazam, Black Adam, and all of the other characters have their powers. I don't think we got enough old gods, in my opinion, for me to actually care that the old gods don't exist anymore. Like, this whole movie was built on the Daughters of Atlas getting the powers because they feel that they were wronged. How am I going to feel bad for the Daughters of Atlas when I never even got a chance to feel bad for Atlas? Or Zeus, or Hippolyta, or Artemis, or Athena. Ares, we all wanted to die in Wonder Woman, so, I mean, he was the only old god that we actually got a chance to see and grow with throughout Wonder Woman. I got why he was doing what he did. I understood it. It's the same reason why Thanos was doing what he did in Avengers. Humanity, a vile, evil thing. I get it. I understand it. Does it make it right? No. Was he going about it wrong? I guess you could say he was, but he was just he was just promoting to people. You know, he was whispering in their ears. He wasn't controlling their decisions. So could you say he was wrong? I guess not, because if I tell you to jump off of a bridge, it's up to you on whether you want to jump off that bridge or not. If you make that decision is what you've made. But for me, I don't feel the stakes. I didn't feel the stakes because I couldn't care. I didn't care. Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. You gave a fuck about the stakes because the stakes was world ending, universe ending. Darkseid gets the anti-life equation. He can control all the minds in the multiverse. That's stakes. Flash running back in time to reverse the mother boxes uniting. You felt the stakes with that. Man of Steel, Zod invading Earth, wanting to terraform Earth and making it a new Krypton. You felt the stakes of that. Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition. You say what you want about that movie. I didn't really feel world-ending stakes, you know, but it was more of a Metropolis, Gotham ending stakes because Doomsday, that wasn't Doomsday. That was another character. I just think he just threw the name Doomsday on the character. But if you read the comics, that is a completely different character with those same abilities, right? So, the first Shazam didn't really feel the stakes, but you understood morality and personal stakes. This one, I could give less than two craps about the stakes. I could give less than two craps about it because I couldn't get into any of the characters, even from the first one. Freddy, he's bullied because he's a disabled. I get it. Bullies suck. Bullies are terrible. We hate bullies. We sympathize with the ones being bullied. I was bullied at one point, so I get it. You can feel for that character a little more, but the rest of them, Mary juggling whether she wants to go to college or not, We've all dealt with that. Some of us went to college, some of us didn't go to college. The other characters, one came out in the movie and said he's gay. I don't know what that added to the story, personally. Did I get behind it? Again, it didn't add anything to the story. It added nothing of substance to the story. Another character liking Skittles didn't add any sort of substance to the story. So I didn't care. A god losing her powers because her sister's greed on wanting to destroy humanity. Mind you, their uncle or grandfather, because Atlas was one of Zeus's offsprings, if I remember right. So that would make Zeus their grandfather. Their grandfather built this world that you're trying to destroy. The story just didn't make any sense. Like that, what I just said right there, Zeus, their grandfather, created the same planet that they're trying to take from the beings that Zeus put on the planet because they feel like their dimension was take. But the humans didn't take their dimension. It was the wizard and the wizards, the council of wizards. So why you... And then they were upset that Billy and his family had the powers of the gods, but how were they supposed to know how the... I mean, one could say they could have done their research, but they're kids. It's just a lot of, it's not cohesive. It doesn't make sense. I just feel like this film was rushed because of the way that DC's going. So Warner Brothers was kind of like, just put it out. It could have been a lot longer, maybe 2.5 hours to 3 hours. And I think it would have did really well because now you have time to flesh out a story. Hell, breaking into 2 parts. But we all know that this part of this version of DC doesn't really exist anymore. So let me hear your thoughts. If you've seen the new Shazam Fury of the Gods movie, because it's been out for like a month to a month and a half, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know if you're looking forward to the new films that is coming out of DC. Saw the Blue Beetle trailer. Gonna admit, I'm not excited. I'm not excited for it. Aquaman, Aquaman is one of my favorite DC superheroes. Favorite. I'm not really excited for that. It's just like, it doesn't even matter anymore because of the direction that everything is getting basically. After Flashpoint, everything is wiped clean. So none of that. Superman dies in the Flashpoint movie. So it's just like, And then they disrespected Batman in the Blue Beetle trailer. Like, come on, what's with these writers and producers disrespecting the OG characters that put y'all in the place to build upon the world? Like, he's a fascist. Okay. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. Let me know if you're looking forward to any more DC movies that is coming out of the new DCU. Do you have faith in what James Gunn is doing? I'm going to admit no, because he's introducing a lot of characters that no one, realistically speaking, gives a F about. You can say that. He did that with Guardians of the Galaxy. But Guardians of the Galaxy they were established characters. They were B characters that people knew about because the Guardians of the Galaxy built on the world on a cosmic level. But the characters that he's introducing in the new DCU, literally no one gives a F about. You go in the comic book stores, you don't see those other characters flying off the shelves. That tells you right there. And I go to comic book stores to this day. I get a lot of Image comics and stuff like that. I don't really get DC and Marvel comics anymore. But I still look to see, maybe, and then flip through it and I'm like, no. But you don't see the Swamp Thing is the only thing I'm looking forward to. Superman, I really don't care about because he's going to do the same thing that we've seen 700 times. And although he's saying that he's not going to do it, how are you going to introduce a new Superman, or a new character, or a new actor, or whatever you want to call it, and not do the same thing that we've seen 750 times in game, comic book, animation, or live action? You're not gonna introduce any big villains that we care about. I have not heard one gigantic villain come out of this whole thing that is gonna be like, oh my God, the Justice League is in for it. And they're gonna introduce the Justice League. It's gonna be built off of the foundation of Justice League: A New Frontier. I don't think I uploaded that video. I think I kept that one in the vault, but I was reading on that. Okay, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Please subscribe if you liked the discussion. Let me know what your gripes and issues is with DC as a whole. I know this video went on a little longer than it needed to be, 20 minutes, 21 minutes. So I'm going to end it here. I'm going to go drink a crap load of water because, yeah. Peace out. Love you guys. Happy Easter.